Hello folks, Tiso here. It seems a lot of you were not that satisfied with my last energy amplifier event guide because I was using GANYU. This time I will show you how to clear all 4 domains using only 4-star characters. I will also not be eating food for any of these fights. Each stage will score over 5,000 points so I can still clear out the shop with the 20k. For the first fight against the Geovishiops, I'll be using a perma-freeze team. Their attacks are very annoying and they keep running away, so I'll just freeze them in place to not deal with it. My main DPS will be a physical Rosaria using Crescent Pike. I will also use Fischl to help me get Superconduct, so I will be using the Scatter Sleep Core Crystal. For the minor crystals, the most important one is Timely Rain. This will let me freeze the enemies without needing a Hydro character. To fully utilize this, I need to find a way to keep using Elemental Burst so I can keep summoning that Hydro Rock. Another crystal I'm using is Embolden. This will greatly increase my DPS since Rosaria will be using normal attacks. I also like War Breeds War to help me get more energy back for my entire team. Same goes for Charge Up, I want to get my burst back as soon as possible. And lastly, I have Challenger to increase my attack and defense since there's only going to be 2 enemies at a time. I could have also chosen Frostbite since the enemies will be frozen anyway to do more damage than Challenger. For the modifiers, I'm just using the bare minimum to hit 5k. I just want this to be done nice and quick. To start, I want to stay near the middle to bait both enemies together. Oh, I am personally not eating any food for these fights, but you can always just buff up more to make this easier. Once the enemies are gathered, I go ahead and use Rosaria's Burst to start the rain. As long as I have enough energy to keep Rosaria and Diona's Burst hitting the enemy, they will stay frozen the entire time. After the first wave is dealt with, I run away from their explosion crystals. If you are not able to freeze the medium Geofishiops the entire time, they might charge up and get imbued by their elements. If they are not Hydro or Cryo, then they will no longer be frozen. Do your best to keep them locked in place to stop them from transforming. I'm also okay taking the explosion as long as I have some shield and heals ready up. And pretty much the same thing for the third wave, just keep them frozen until they are dead. There you go, 5,000 points and stage 1 out of the way. For the second stage, I'll be using Razor as my main DPS. Since there's a lot of enemies, I'll be using Duelist Dance to AoE them down. And my minor crystals are just there to help out Razor. I have stuff to increase their normal damage and get more energy back for the team. I also added in Judgment to do more AoE when the enemy dies. The 3 green crystals are just to increase my normal damage, physical damage, and energy recharge. For the modifiers, the most annoying one is to lose energy while you're outside the ring. Since I will not be using any range characters for this fight, I will need to go outside to kill the enemy, so I do not want to lose energy. You will also want to bring a Hydro and Cryo character to destroy the Fatui shield in the last wave. At the beginning, I rushed to the backline to destroy the 2 archers. After that, I come into the safety ring and heal up.
Everybody Everybody stand back. Off we go.
For the second wave, I want to kill the Hydro Shaman first, since I will be outside and I don't want to be electrocuted and stunned the entire time. After that, I go and kill the Geo Shaman to break the pillars. Then I take care of the 2 archers before I go back to the middle to heal up. While chasing down the ranged enemies, my AoE was strong enough to destroy all the melee enemies chasing me. For the third wave, I need to go outside to defeat the gunners. I pretty much just use everything I have to take care of them quickly. If you kill them fast enough, they won't even have time to bring out their shields. And since I'm healthy enough already, I'm just gonna stay out here and take the lightning hits while I kill the last enemy. And that's 5,500 points with a melee team. We are halfway done. Stage 3 is the easiest one for me still. I'll be using a permafreeze team against all these ruined enemies. I will use the same team and pretty much the same buffs as the first stage. Scatter Sleep Dance to help my Rosaria's damage, Embolden to also help her damage, War Breeds War to get more energy to keep Timely Rain active, and finally, Frostbite and Challenger to do extra damage. None of the modifiers are that scary, but since I want this to be done quickly, I'll keep the Ruined Graders from healing, and I'll get rid of that health buff along the way. At the start, I'll stay in the center to group up both Ruined Guards. If you move towards one of them immediately, the other one will start shooting missiles. So I'm pretty much doing the same rotation, just keeping my Elemental Burst active at all times. I will also keep an eye out for the Chaos Cluster. When it gets near me, I'll use an Elemental Burst to not take damage. But don't worry too much if you get hit, it shouldn't be strong enough to kill you in one shot. Not much to say about this one either. With the proper setup, you have plenty of energy to keep 100% burst uptime. If you pick the regen modifier, focus down the weaker enemy first so they don't heal up.
You can't run.
And that's 5750. One more stage to go. For the last stage, I'll be using Razor again to deal with Phase 1. Phase 1 is the harder of the two. If you get past that, then you have a clear path home. My main goal is to kill all the Hilly Churls so they stop healing the Abyss Herald. Since there's a lot of them, I'll be using Duelist Dance to help me AoE them down. As for the minor crystals, it's the same as always. Embolden for damage, War Breeds War for more energy, Timely Rain to keep things frozen, and Frostbite and Judgment for extra damage. For the modifiers, since Razor is my main DPS, I don't want that physical resistance. The other annoying one is the Hydro Shockwave that I don't want to deal with. And since I already have plenty of points, I don't need this last one for that extra Hilly Churl. This will save me some time. At the beginning, you want to stay north and get ready for the first wave of enemies. Once they spawn, I use my burst to take them down as soon as possible so I can focus on the Herald. The faster you take down the Helix Heroes, the more time you have to focus on the Herald. If you take too long, the next wave will spawn, so you have to waste more time killing them. Once the Abyss Herald enter phase 2, I use Chongyun's elemental skill to do more damage. Then I just keep using elemental skill and burst to take down that shield. The imbued cryo attacks also make this faster.
What a nuisance. Teamwork is dreamwork.
From whence you came, one with my blood.
And there you go, 5500 points on stage 4. And those are my setups to get over 5000 points for each stage. I only used 4-star characters and did not use any food buffs. Hope this helps you more than the one with GANYU. It still ended up being very similar strategy of using a perma-freeze team. Anyways, thanks for watching and have fun out there, traveler.